Welcome to PAM Eastcoast LA. I am your host today, Pamela. I have the wonderful Rebecca L. Hargrove. Thank you, beautiful, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. Hey. Thank you for having me.
I have. Thank you for coming on. Are you kidding me? It was so hard. We had to reschedule and rebook, and I'm so glad. Finally, you were planted in LA and you said, I can come on, girl. And I said, oh, I'm not working today. I'm taking this interview. Yes, I'm not working today. I was like, I'm taking this interview because I'm glad that you're actually very, very busy. That's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's
you are an actress and an opera singer.
Correct.
That is awesome. I've seen one opera in my life. It's
Do you know which one?
It was an Italian opera, and it was obviously with English.
The super titles.
Understand, right? The subtitles was in English, and this was years ago. I must say it was probably like 10 years ago. And I always said I'd go back. Here's the thing. I don't do things like that alone. I have to be honest. I love the company of somebody when it's like a show, like a Broadway or a ballet or an opera. I absolutely love it all. So 10 years ago, that was like my last opera. So I feel like now with you coming on the show, you are my first opera singer. I'm not going to lie. You are my first, which is good. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, girl. Yes. So I feel like now I could actually, maybe you can give me some kind of advice, or maybe something that you would prefer, or, advise and say, girl, go see this. It's kind of like plays, and people are like, oh, you should see this play. And I'm like, absolutely. Like the Book of Mormon. I still have yet to see it.
I've actually never seen Book of Mormon either. So we're right in the same boat. Okay.
But you've heard great things, right?
Of course. Yeah. And it's still running here on Broadway in New York. So I just got to find a reason to go down to the theater.
Oh my God. So you're in LA right now, but you live in New York?
I live in New York. I was working in LA this weekend, and I just flew back to New York.
Oh my God. So you are in New York. Okay. Well, listen, I wanted you to get all your energy. And I even said, girl, if you can't do it today, don't worry about a thing. I said, get your energy, because that flight alone, I knew you were somewhere, and then you flew to LA, and I thought you planted in LA and was like, I'm so exhausted, but I'm going to come on the show. But you're back in New York. Oh, babe.
Yes.
That is, thank you so much.
Of course, it was such a quick trip. I got the call to go to LA like hours before getting on a 6 a.m. flight. And then I knew we had our scheduled time, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to reschedule this. And thank you so much for being open and available to switching things around.
Honey, anytime. Listen, I always say work first and then play. You were out there for work? Okay, are you a full-time actress and singer?
Yes. And I feel really blessed, because with the pandemic, so many of us were not working. So many of us are still not working consistently. Right. So anytime my phone rings or I get an email to work, I'm all right.
On top of it.
Let's do it. Yep.
So what's your current project that you're working on?
Well, I am I'm doing a concert version of this opera called The Mikado.
Okay.
On Thursday night, so 2 nights from now, I'll be doing
in
that.
New York?
It's actually going to be in Pennsylvania, at Lafayette College, so I'll be there. And then this past Thursday, right before we were supposed to have our first interview, I was at Carnegie Hall doing a show called Steel Hammer. Yeah. Your face. I could just take a picture of your
girl. When let me tell you, when this is done, you can take all of it. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna screenshot my face. I have nothing but facials for you. How was that? Carnegie Hall, babe.
Yeah.
Tell me more. How
was absolutely amazing. It was amazing. The piece is called Steel Hammer, and it's by a female composer, Julia Wolf. She is like a champion of new modern music. Yes. And to be a woman on Women's History Month, she had a complete series, a week-long series at Carnegie Hall. So I was fortunate enough to do just one of the shows of hers that played that week. And I started working with her husband actually 2 years ago. Okay. I did her husband's opera, which was this opera called Aquanetta, based on a real life woman named Aquanetta. She was one of the first. Uh, she Her race comes into question a lot. She was sometimes Black, she was sometimes Native American, she was sometimes Portuguese, like whatever she could call herself to get into certain rooms.
I was gonna say
And
Native American. I don't know
Native, you
why.
know,
It's like that, yeah, that whole like Indian,
mhm.
yeah, the Native
Whatever the
American.
flavor of the moment was, she was so racially and ethnically ambiguous that whatever the flavor was, that was what she called herself. And so the opera kind of centers around this ambiguity of race. And one of her movies that she did in the early 1930s was about how, so problematic, they turned an ape into a woman and she ended up being the woman. And so it's just this like idea of blackness and juxtaposed to being compared to animals and a lot of stuff. But the music is out there, the
It's
show, the concept,
original
it's so fresh, like it hasn't been done, and it's set up like a movie. So the
and it's
audience feels
recorded
like
big.
it should be streaming. When I
Okay.
performed it, it was at Bard Summerscape. So I have a feeling, at least there's a link on my website where you can
Okay.
watch it, but it should still be viewable on the Bard Summerscape website. But the audience members that saw it live genuinely thought they were watching a movie.
Oh
And
my God.
as the
I can only
show
imagine.
evolves, you pull all the pieces apart and you find out we've been acting the whole thing out live behind a screen.
Oh my God. Okay. We're gonna
Yeah.
continue talking, but right
Yes,
now
yes, yes.
we are going to introduce Grape Drink Purple Drink Hour. What do we have today, my love?
I have a glass of Chardonnay.
That is correct. And I have an empty glass and I'm going to pour this Chardonnay inside this glass.
Amen.
Cheers, my love, to your success.
Cheers.
God bless
You.
you, to your health. Yes, that's everyone.
Salud.
So I don't know if you know this, I'm Greek.
Mm.
Yes. So that's what they told me. I'm 100% Greek. That's I
You
don't
said
know.
that's what they told me.
Got certain accents over here, girl. I don't know, honey. I don't know where the hips came from. I don't know how Greek that is unless it's down South Greek, you know?
Okay, right. That's what I'm thinking.
You know? That's what I'm thinking. Where did you begin as far as acting or maybe opera? Which one was your first passion?
I mean, I have to say, I was more passionate about acting first. I grew up always wanting to act, and I just happened to play musical instruments and sing first. Like I started in musical theater, which marries both singing and acting.
Right.
And I was, let's see, I was 13 when I saw Tupac's Behind the Music on VH1. And Tupac actually went to Baltimore School for the Arts when he was growing up in Maryland.
That's correct.
And the school's only 30 minutes away from my house. And I begged my mom to take me and let me go audition. And I auditioned for both theater and for voice, hoping to get in for theater, but I got in for voice instead.
Okay.
And in my first voice lesson, I thought I was gonna sing musical theater like I'd always been singing. And my teacher pulled out French, German, Italian, Russian. He pulled out all these songs and books and was like, "Oh no, honey, we sing opera here."
Oh, no.
Exactly. He was like, "Anyone on the street can do this. You're gonna sing opera."
Was your teacher like from like another country, and was
No.
that had that like very like stern reserve, like, no, this is what it is, this is what you should do, you know? Do you know what I mean?
No, my first classical voice teacher is a Black man from Georgia.
Okay, Georgia. Okay.
Yes.
I see you,
Yes.
Georgia. All right.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Robert Cantrell. I refer to him as my Papa Bear. He really was like my father figure for that pivotal age in my life, high school, that he molded and guided me and introduced me to a whole other world of music.
I think that's amazing. Who would have thought? What's the first opera song you sang? Was it French?
It was Italian.
It was
and
Italian.
Called Caro Mio Ben.
And you remember that, huh?
Oh, it's like every baby opera singer's first song.
Oh, it is. Okay, tell me more.
Yes.
Tell me more. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. It's
Yes.
like playing the little recorder, remember?
Recorder. Yes.
The
When you're in music
recorder.
class.
Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you like slap that, get that out of here. And then all of a sudden you're like,
A trombone, exactly.
you know,
you graduate into things.
so that was your recorder music. I think
Mhm.
that is, how easy was it? I mean, honestly, is it something that you could say like, I could teach this to someone?
Well, absolutely now at this age. But you know, I got a couple of degrees in it now, so I think I could teach someone for sure. But back then, how easy was it? Like, I made fun of opera singers all the time. So
Okay.
my voice really took to it. Like I would watch those Tom and Jerry cartoons and the Looney Tunes and What's
Yes.
Opera Doc. And I would make fun of the fat lady doing the Valkyrie scene.
Right.
So when someone told me, no, actually, that's how you sing this, and I was like, oh, I do that all the time in the shower.
Right.
So I really, it picked me, is what I tell people, but my voice just really took to it
My God.
naturally. Yeah.
It's like, I just want you to start singing like, "Yesu." Like, I don't know. I just want you to give it to me right now. Like,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Girl, you know
I'm
that
sure
song. You know what I'm
Zoom would,
talking
I do
about.
know, I
Okay?
know the Foretia.
Okay, that's all I have to say, all right? And that's as far as that's going. Okay, this is your show, not mine. Nobody wants to hear me sing. They're like, just every time you want to sing, just start drinking. You know, but I'm a big, I love it. I'm grateful that it was introduced to me, you know, because I'm about to be 40. So right now in a few months. So it's not like I just, you know, started learning about this stuff. So growing up, I'm talking about 80s, 90s. But it wasn't a popular thing. And I feel like Disney, so I watched the Tom and Jerry's and the Warner Brothers, all of that. But I feel like now it's more, I don't know how to explain it. Disney is really, really taking off. And this is my opinion now. Not that I didn't grow up with Disney. Lion King was the #1 soundtrack movie Disney. I remember back in the 90s. That was like a big, big hit. So I feel like now you know, then all of a sudden Frozen took over, right? And then after Frozen, now you have the Bruno movie.
Encanto.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't say no, Bruno, no.
And
That song is taking off. I didn't even see the movie. I got people, grown men, baby, are singing that song. Do you understand?
Lin-Manuel Miranda has
hey, I'm turning to them and I'm like, what'd you do over the weekend? Like, oh, you gotta see this movie. And I'm like, did you see it with the kids or by yourself? Yeah, I saw it with the kids. Yes, it was with the kids. I was like, well, I don't have kids, but you know what? I'm gonna see that myself, and I'll let you know. And it's great. And I feel like Disney really is like, I don't know if that's a goal of yours where you want to be like maybe singing in a Disney movie or anything. I mean, would you consider
that? Of course.
You would, right?
I mean, I too grew up on I feel like when you're talking about Lion King and all that stuff, that was the second wave of a Disney golden age, right? Like that music for our generation is so cemented in my head. Like I probably wanted to sing because I had those sing-along tapes. Do you remember the Disney sing-along tapes?
Yeah, of course I do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not a little tenderoni, you know. I got gray hair, honey. I hide it. I'm hiding it right now. I'm just hiding it right now. I'd like flip my hair that way. I was like, I was like asking my brother. I was like, how does it look? He's like, I should have touched it up.
You look great.
Thank you. I mean, I can get it. It's a Tuesday. There's not a lot of competition during the week, honey. When Friday comes,
ooh, girl, when Friday comes, we gotta pull up.
Oh, girl, when Friday comes, that's when the Spanx come out, honey. You have no idea. How did you get started back then? Was it, I mean, you're talking about what, the 90s, right?
Well, let's see, I was in high school in the early 2000s.
Okay.
So that's when I first started singing classically. And
Okay.
I kind of fought it for a while. I wanted to be the next Beyonce. I was like,
Okay. All
I
right.
don't want to do this. No one goes to the opera. And then on a school field trip, they took us to go see a woman named Renee Fleming.
I know
And
Renee
at the
Fleming.
time, yes, yeah, she is
Yes.
like America's diva, and a packed out, sold out show at the Baltimore Lyric, and people are just throwing flowers, and she's coming out and doing 5 and 6 encores, and she sounds glorious. And it's like the applause for her, standing ovations going on for minutes and minutes. And I said, wow, there are people that actually, like classical music. Like
Yeah.
I play classical music because I grew
What do
up
you
playing
play?
piano. Or well, piano was my first instrument, so I
Okay.
understood the art form because I could play it, but I never went to a show. I never went to the symphony just for
Right. Right.
fun,
Right.
so that's where I kind of was like, oh, I could pursue this. Like, this is a gift that I have that not everyone can do, and maybe I
No.
should pursue it. So my teacher, he talked me down real hard about it, and he helped me
Georgia
find
style,
college
right?
program. Yes, Georgia
Okay.
style.
You didn't have to
Oversell.
have that little European, you know what I mean? That little Southern.
Mm-mm.
He's like, come here,
Exactly.
child. Let me talk to you
Yes.
real quick.
He like the papa he was, like a straight up dad. He sat
Yes.
me down and was like, these are the top schools in the country. You need to apply to them all.
Yes.
And I ended up going to Oberlin Conservatory for my undergrad, and then I moved to New York to do my master's at the New School. And so I've been in New York now since 2013. I'm going
Okay.
on my ninth into my 10th year. So
Are you loving it?
oh yeah, well, I always wanted to live in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I love it.
here really is the mecca of all things. Like everything I've ever been interested in doing, I've been able to do it here.
Yeah, that's how I feel
Yeah.
too. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So, when I graduated, I had nothing. I had like no opportunity. So I really had to learn how to create it for myself and go out there and get it for myself, because nothing was going to be handed to me just because I went to this school or got this degree or,
Correct.
knew these
Yeah.
people. It was never going to be handed to me. So it's
And I
definitely
hate to
been,
ask this, but I'm gonna ask it. Is it harder because you're a Black woman trying to enter like the opera world because it's predominantly more
yeah, it's traditionally a
white?
white space.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what I don't know.
okay.
So I've never been in the room. I've never heard a conversation be had where I was refused an opportunity because I was Black. So I never want
Good.
to make that blanket statement. But I understand that I'm not what people conceive of when they think of an opera singer.
Right.
And I might not be someone's cup of tea, whether it's the quality of my voice or just the way I look.
Or because you
So
have curly hair. Girl, I know, I feel you.
you know,
Struggling with
like,
that too, okay?
there's so much there. It's so loaded. So I hate to make a blanket statement and be like, yeah, it's harder for me because I'm
You know
Black.
what? I'm
It's
glad
just
though.
hard.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you have an experience. You know it exists. That's different.
Oh yeah, I
Exists.
know it exists.
A lot of things exist.
Mhm.
Killings, molesting, all that exists. Experiencing it though, I'm so actually very happy that you have not experienced it. You don't deserve to experience that bullshit anyway.
No.
That's
And
not
have
good
I
enough.
felt othered? Absolutely. Am I usually the only one in the room? Absolutely.
Absolutely, right?
I've been blessed and fortunate enough that at my time at the Metropolitan Opera, most of the shows I've done there have been all Black or majority Black shows. So it's a very refreshing feeling after spending half of my life being the only one to
Right.
be one of many, and to
Yes.
see everyone that looks like me fulfilling a dream come true.
I love that. I can't wait to
Because-
see you. I'm coming. I'm going to bring that ass. Don't worry. We're going to be friends and I'm going to come. I'm going to get tickets. I promise. And I'll even come by myself.
Listen.
And I'll only come by myself because I know that you're up there. Do you understand? I'll feel like maybe you're here, Make me feel better, I'll be like, no, but that's Rebecca Hargrove, guys. That's her. No, I love it because I'm a big supporter. I think supporting is everything. I think that's the reason why we do the podcast, to be honest. It's just one person likes the other person and hopefully works together or supports. I've had artists that paint. I had to put one up right now. I'm gonna put it right here. I had an artist. She's a Chicago artist who said she's painting all over the city and has her own shop. That's why I've met so many great people just like you that are just so beautiful inside and out. And that's why I just can't wait to come and see you, because honestly, you're the reason why I'm going to see now my second opera or whatever you're in, actually plays or, you know, whatever it is. And I really want you to be so successful. And I'm so happy that you're actually still working, because it's not an easy industry. It really is not. So what do you do to get your work today? Like, do you use just Instagram? Or are you just already kind of a name, or do you have an agent, or would you be able to tell people like, hey, go with this agency or audition for this? Like, what's your advice?
Yeah, I do quite a few things, but in regards to opera, not that I use social media to get jobs, but I have gotten jobs from my social media presence.
Okay.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to do a one-woman opera a few years ago, and the composer of that opera literally just went under the hashtag Black women in opera, Black opera singers, and one of my videos came up, and he asked if I would be a part of it, and that ended up growing into my first studio album.
Oh,
You know, or I have to say, and it sounds so cliche, it isn't really what you know. A lot of times it's who you know. Like,
yes.
yes, I have agents.
Right.
I have agents, right?
Right.
A lot of times my agents will reach out to me and say, somebody mentioned you to someone else and they want to know if you can audition for this. So yes, I still have to audition for things all the time.
Because of your agent, who through word of mouth.
Yep, through word of mouth. So also too, just being a good person.
Yes.
Truly just being a base level decent human, that people like you, because your talent can get you very far, right? A lot of people are very, very talented.
But if they don't want to put up with your bullshit, next.
And
girl.
and I was recommended to someone, and what did they do? Go to my social media, and the same way you just said, like, your energy and your presence made me think I would enjoy working with you. So I asked to work with you. We had never met before.
You never meet these people. Like, we never met, and I can't have you on, like, I can't be looking at you and I can't be fake. It's really, really hard. I literally will stop the press. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. This is not working out. I'm just not feeling the vibe. And it hasn't happened yet. Thank God. Does it look better, babe? Now you can see the grays, right?
Oh.
Look at this girl.
You know what? Yeah, when your light wasn't on, they're still not that prominent.
Okay,
but the grays are in.
Honey, they're there. Okay, they're just not down there. Like, they're just here right now. Okay, let's stop. Black.
So in.
Black.
Oh my God.
Girl, when you get older, let me tell you, things change.
I'm like on the precipice of changes. I was like, on my 30th birthday a few years ago, the midnight, like 11:59 clock turning to midnight, my knees buckled. And I said, what?
Are you serious?
In real life, it was witnessed. I'm not making it up. My knees buckled. And I said, here we go.
You were like, that's it. 30
it's
and 40. That's it. It's on.
Here we go. Yeah.
But you know what? You become a different person when you're in your 30s. And then when you become in your 40s, you become even, I feel like every 10 years, you're just a different person. You tolerate less bullshit, and your patience kind of go a little bit less. Not that you're not patient towards the people you love, but like when bullshit people are just like, I don't have time for, and when you get 40, you're gonna remember me. You're like, you know what? You like go through your phone and you're like, no, delete. What was I thinking? Regret.
Like, we're already doing that, girl. Block.
Block. Don't ever. Oh, now I'm somewhere. Now you want to reach out? I don't think so. No, next. Tell me how you get your acting jobs.
Now that is my agents, really, like they're amazing, and still connections and friends. I I think a lot of people forget, and I'm obsessed with Issa Rae. Let me just start there.
Okay, love her.
Issa is like my North Star. And she, in one interview, said a lot of people rely on their connections this way. Like, what can this person above me do for me?
Okay.
Instead of being like, what can this person here and this person here? And can we all hold hands and elevate each other? And I'm really big on that. So a lot of people that I've grown up with are like now making names for themselves and they're prominent and we're all familiar with each other's work and we're creating things together. One of my closest friends and I started our own production company in the pandemic, and we were like sitting around. Yeah, we were auditioning for things, but we weren't working. So we just shot our own film and we hired our friends. You know, I have a friend that's an Emmy-winning award composer. He's doing our soundtrack. I've
What's it
made
called,
new
babe?
friends.
What's your production company called?
KSRH Productions is my friend Kedron Spencer and myself, Rebecca L. Hargrove.
Okay.
And our film is called Last Call.
Okay.
And we were just sitting around swapping dating war stories. And I had this experience where I was stood up in a bar and the night kind of evolved into something completely unexpected. So we just decided to, you know, fictionally tell a real life story that kind of happened to me. And we added in a little bit of her and some what ifs. And we made a beautiful thing. And that was all networking this way, you know, to get it made. And now, because we all came together and made a thing, we have a baby. Now we can start networking this way, you know. But I mean, if I'm auditioning for someone else's project, my agents are the best. They like really hook it up.
Is there a way for people to look up to maybe if they can get an agent? I've had a couple people on the podcast give some kind of like referrals.
Yeah, I did a few years ago an agent showcase, which is what a lot of people do.
Okay.
You can do them either through your unions. So if you're a part of the Actors Equity Union, they have open free showcases where you can just look and for free sign up and be like, oh, I really want to be with this agency. Let me do a monologue and a song for them. It's very casual. And that's how I got my agents that I have now. I went in and I was like, I'm going to do this monologue, and I sang a ballad and an up-tempo. And then I met them in the office and we talked about where I saw the trajectory of my career going, and they liked me, I liked them, we decided to sign. Sometimes if you're a student in school, the school will host these kinds of showcases where industry people can see you work.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a connection, or you might not know someone that knows someone, a really cool tool to use is Actors Connection or One-on-One NYC. And they frequently have classes. Yes, you have to pay for them to meet these people, but that might be beneficial to you.
That's great. I'm glad. Thank you so much for letting me and everybody know, because I haven't heard those actually. I've heard some other ones here in New York, some in LA. I've heard different ones. I think one or two in Chicago. Yeah. So thank you. I really, that's great. Yeah. It's for everybody, just to make, you know, hopefully they're
okay, right away. And then have an idea. Like, I think a lot of people are expecting agents or managers to make it happen for them. And some people that I've talked to will say, oh, once I get an agent or manager, it's going to pop.
Right.
And that's not necessarily the case. Like, I still have to promote myself and put myself out there just as hard as I did before I had agents, now that I have agents. You know, they have,
great to know.
they have an
You're
entire
still
roster.
working. You're still working at it. Yeah. I guess people don't really
no.
realize. I know. Do you have a social media person?
I did at one point, and then when the pandemic hit, it didn't make sense.
Right.
So
you're like,
I'm my person.
the budget is
right. Like, what are we doing?
I was writing down my costs, and I'm sorry, I have to eliminate my car insurance.
I moved out of my house. I moved back in with my mom. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how long this is gonna last.
You're like, I'm actually gonna move into the storage that I'm renting. So, I just gotta like, I'm making a lot of sacrifices. I'm sorry, babe. You have to go. Like, no, I get it. Yes, babe. I need a social media person just to help me promote because I'm a big tatarata when it comes to social media. Like, I don't know how to do this, babe. I only know how to sit in a chair and be myself. That's what you get. This is me right here. Like, and now after this, when I get off with you, I'm gonna be like, Devon, Jordan, Maria, can somebody help me? Usuma?
Yeah.
Anybody? No, I have a team. People don't understand. I actually, babe, have a whole team just for this podcast, which is a small podcast. It really is. Do I want it to blow up? Am I looking for different avenues of where it could take me? Absolutely. Am I in film? Am I working on different projects? Absolutely. I'm a comedian at heart, right? But I worked on a project last week where I played like the captain, right? So I'm very serious. You just have to get mind ready for that, but as far as like friends and cooling out and having fun, like I want to smile, I want to laugh, I want to have a good time, I want to have grape drink, purple drink, have a little mezze, a little appetizer and call it a day. That's my life. That's my everyday life. And obviously work because I got to make money, but that's my everyday life. So yeah, this is great. No, Sagapao. You know what that means in Greek? I love you.
Oh, say it again.
Sagapao.
Say it one more time.
Sagapao. Sagapao.
Sagapao.
It's a good word to know if you ever run into a Greek person, especially if they're older. You could be like, Sagapao, and they'll be like, oh, Sagapao, que
Well, Greece is one of my dream vacations that I need to just do a full tour. So you're gonna have to give me all of the lingo that I need.
Yes,
so that they'll love me over there.
You're gonna write it down. You already speak Italian. You speak French. You speak German. You speak English. Do you speak English? I don't know. We'll find out. English. Could be the fifth language.
Okay, right. Just throw them all together.
Babe, I don't even know. I got Jamaican friends. They're like, Wagwan. I'm like, Madea. You gotta respond. You gotta know that Jaminglish, girl. You gotta know your Jaminglish. Let me tell you. You gotta learn all the little languages, like in Italian, I'd be like, oh, tutta bella. And then in French, I'd be like, look at my little croissant, and they're like, it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, Pepe Le Pew. My little croissant. Tell me your goal.
My goal.
Your ultimate goal. Where do you want to be?
My ultimate goal is I want an EGOT. I want an Emmy, an Oscar, a Grammy, and a Tony.
You do. You want it all.
I do. I want it all. I don't want to limit myself to just one thing. I understand that I can do multiple things. I'm multifaceted, and I want to reach what I perceive to be my, zenith in each realm. Yeah. So I already have my Grammy. So I got my G, and now I'm just working on my EO and T.
I was gonna say, what is it? EO
and T.
And T. Oh yes, okay. It's almost like a goat. I literally thought you were spelling goat for a second. I was like,
oh yeah,
that makes sense, but damn it. And it kind of ruined the goat, but that's all right. We can call it a gont.
Yeah, a gont.
A gont. Sounds Greek to me. So have you ever considered modeling? I actually wanted to ask you that.
I have, and I have.
Oh, okay. No, it's not on your like your profile. It's not something you honor. So it's something you do, but it's not your main focus.
Right. Like, I mean, my agent still, I go in for commercial and print and everything on camera related, Yeah. So I've done like campaigns. I've done Walmart ads before.
Okay.
I do a lot of commercial work too, which is nice because that is a residual check.
No, it's awesome. I would love to be on a commercial. Like I always said, I could be like in the Peg Egg commercial, you know, like I could be the girl with the fucked up feet. Like, why not? Right?
I had to think about what Peg Egg is. I forgot.
Dude,
And you know, I ordered one when they were hot.
Rebecca
You know I
went,
have
oh
one.
my God, what am I dealing with? Okay, I mean, that's like my joke. It's like, how hard is it to be like, your feet are fucked up, and then somebody comes in like, oh, look, this is the Peg Egg, and then you have great feet. Come on, I could be that girl. Give me a shot,
That's right.
people. Listen, I just got my tippies done the other day. You understand? My tippies I got done. They're not ugly, I promise. But yeah, the girl did whip out a grater. She's like, lot of work. I was like, yeah, I wear boots.
It's when they start asking you, do you want to upgrade the treatments? Like, you
Honey,
want the deluxe
the
spa
deluxe
callus remover?
the callus? I was like, where's the callus? I was
That's
like,
what they do though.
is there anything you like to tell and share with everybody? Like, I know you talked about some recent projects, but is there anything that you would love to let me know and let people know that are going to be watching, projects that you have done that they can maybe support, look into? And I'm going to watch definitely your Carnegie Hall, because you said still streamed, right? So, you know, like I said, I got to get my opera back.
Yeah, well, I don't think Carnegie Hall will be streaming, but the performance I was telling you about at Bard Summerscape should
Oh, I'm
still be
sorry,
streaming.
that one. Yes,
Yes.
that one. Yes.
Aquanetta should still be
Aquanetta.
streaming. Yes.
American,
And
yes, our girl, yes.
yes, let's see what's coming up next that I could actually talk about. Ooh. Well, I would love to at least direct anyone that is interested in supporting two young Black filmmakers.
Yes.
We are actually currently fundraising and still raising funds to pay for the post-production of my film I was telling you about last call.
Okay.
So I'd love to share the GoFundMe page, links and things like that with you if people wanted to watch our fundraising campaign video or learn more about the film and our ideas to use that film as a proof of concept for a TV series. So that's our ultimate goal with that. As I was telling you, EGOT is my goal. I'm coming after my Emmys.
I already know you're going to do it.
Wants to support two young Black women that are breaking into the filmmaking industry.
Yes.
I would love to direct anyone to our GoFundMe page or our Zelle. If people are more comfortable with Zelle, we have a complete business account that all donation funds go to that, and that helps pay for our Emmy award-winning composer I was telling you about,
yes.
And our sound editing and mixing and regular editing, coloring, all the things that people don't think about when they think about filmmaking on the back end. And that would be our advertising and submitting to film festivals fees. So coming up performance-wise, it hasn't been announced yet. So once I have clearance to announce, I would love to share that detail with you.
Yes.
On the back end,
because I put it on, I'll put it on the thing. I do like little advertisements for if people have a project coming, yo, you need to see Rebecca L. Hargrove. Okay. Yes. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Rebecca, for coming on the show. You have no idea how much this means to me. For somebody like you that's so busy, honestly, you have to reschedule, huh? Like once, twice, or remember when I was emailing you back, you were like, actually Monday, actually this. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose her, folks. No.
I'm so happy we made it happen.
Jet lagged and everything, everybody. This woman is dedicated. You don't know. She is going to make it. And why? Because she's a beautiful person that has something to offer. Great spirit, great energy, and of course, talent. So, I mean, what else do you want from somebody, you know? So thank you so much for coming on the show. I have to say, I love you. Saga pao.
Saga pao to you too, Pamela. My big heart.
Yes, thank you. Love you.